Tales from the Podcast is brought to you by the following generous sponsorships.
The Happy Hour News Team. Check them out at www.happyhournewsteam.com.
talesfromthepodcast.com, where you can pick up your copy of Tales of Shock and Terror #1. The Skewered Universe Podcast. And viewers like you.
Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Podcast. Unfortunately, Jeff is not going to be here this evening. He had some family stuff going on, but I'm here, and we're going to go ahead and just do a quick episode. I mean, honestly, we'll probably do quite a bit of a recap of this episode into the next one, considering that this episode is our first two-parter. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to not do the second part without at least covering some of this. So I'm sure Jeff will give his opinion on a lot of this later on, but we're going to be jumping into the the fourth episode of season 4, The Tale of Cutter's Treasure. And this one was written and directed by DJ McHale. We do have some pretty cool stuff in here. One of my favorite things does occur in this episode, which is something that we don't get to see like so far yet. We'll see it again because obviously there's a part 2, but we actually get Aaron Tager coming back in here with Dr. Vink, as well as Richard Dumont with another appearance as Sardo. So having both of them in an episode is fucking amazing. We also have Charles S. Dutton in this. He was in Legion, Alien 3, Gothica, Time to Kill. I mean, the guy's been in a ton of fucking shit. I mean, just looking at a lot of his credits in general, it's kind of insane some of the stuff that he's been a part of. I mean, Mimic, Last Dance, Seven. I mean, just so much. One of the greatest movies ever, fucking Crocodile Dundee 2. So finally get a Paul Hogan crossover reference there finally. One that's actually real. So which is awesome. In this episode, we also have Dominic Zamprogna. He was in General Hospital for 1,528 episodes. That's insane. He also did a few episodes of Battlestar Galactica, The Boys Club, 10 Star. Definitely just a very well-known TV actor. We also have Andrew Sardella in this episode. He did an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, obviously, these two. He also was in an episode of Goosebumps as well. He really hasn't done too much over the last 20-something years, but did a lot of acting as a child, I guess you could just say. Nothing too special. We also got Chipuka. I don't fucking know how to say his name. He was in Scanners 3, To Catch a Killer, Snake Eyes. He's actually been in quite a bit of shit, and even up to the last few years, he's still doing work. So that's great too. We also have Emily Hampshire in this episode, who grew up to do quite a bit. She was in Schitt's Creek, 12 Monkeys. So, I mean, it's nice, I guess, to see a child star that actually made it. Was a kid in the episodes. Usually, a lot of the people who have had a career already had one before they started doing it. So it's nice to see somebody after the fact. We also got Susan Almgren. Oh, jeez. She was an American Haunting. She was the mom. Lawrence, anyways, Moonfall, Affliction, Pompeii. Yeah, she's actually been in quite a few things. So got her as well. She was a little bit older and already established, though. We got Mary Mortar in here as well. Jeez, we got quite a few people in this episode, don't we? Mary Mortar was basically, this is the only 2 episodes she did. That's all she ever did. We got Mark Bralamo. He did a few episodes of Goosebumps, the King of Airwaves, Hysteria. He hasn't done anything since the 90s and did a lot of French stuff. Not too surprising. We also got Asia Fry in this. He was in Levity, The Naked Mile, Super Science Friends, The Boys. He did an episode of. Seems like he's basically come down to doing a lot of small parts on TV shows. Did have a small run in Inner Space. Never seen it, but yeah, seems like he might have been a regular there. This episode though is kind of, I don't know, being a 2-parter and us splitting it apart. It kind of might not be the best way of doing these episodes, but it's definitely going to make the second part a lot more interesting. It's basically, we got a kid who gets a spyglass. From the spyglasses, kind of able to see certain things, and his brother ends up being taken by an evil pirate, and we end up getting half the journey of him trying to save his brother and defeat a pirate. And it's supposed to be, something where it's like a family history type thing, where there's some kind of a connection between the boy and the spyglass, and the treasure chest that he was able to get it from, which just a really cool, interesting story. I'll say, like, this episode is nothing super special by any means. It's a fun one. Being able to have a nice 2-parter is really cool. I do appreciate a 2-parter. I really think we're going to end up getting more into it on the next one, just because it's kind of doing the first part. You kind of can't give any spoilers, don't want to give too much away, especially with people who are watching this with us, which is awesome, and we appreciate those people watching it and going along with the series too, so that's always fun. But I guess to keep it very simple, this is a very fun episode. I do enjoy it quite a bit. I think on IMDb it had like a 7.3. Me personally, I want to rate it with the other part and kind of give this like 1 rating myself. I guess I kind of am going to spoil it a little bit, but with this being a 2-parter, I would technically probably still give this like a 9. It's just fun the way they were able to do it, fun how they're able to actually, especially back then for a kids anthology show. I mean, we didn't see this. I mean, we had this, and then, eventually Goosebumps did some of the same things, but like, this was the first time we got to see a lot of these things, and it was really, really cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. This is technically a doubled story too, which is kind of cool. We don't really get that either. And having Sardo and Vink in it means obviously we had Gary and Frank telling the stories, which is another interesting thing that we don't really get to see. I really wish I could go into it more, but like I said, with it being a 2-parter, I really don't want to spoil anything. Either way, hopefully everybody's been having a great week so far. want to remind everybody, like, hey, we do still have a video game out there. If you want to pick that up, it's only $10, $5 if you want to cheat with it. But it's a really fun game. We worked really hard on. We appreciate anybody who wants to go and check that out. Also have comic books for sale if you guys are interested in horror comics. Tales of Shock and Terror is available as well. All the links for everything can be available, and purchasing things right there through the Cash App and PayPal. So feel free to check any of that out. That's really most of what I got for the day. Like I said, this is going to be a short, sweet, easy episode. We're going to get a lot more into detail with everything with the next part, just for the simple fact of spoiler issues with it being a two-parter, but still a fun one. Yeah, that's basically all I got. Want to thank everyone for watching and being part of everything. That's for sure. See Slasher Fred, the scene where the older brother speaking through the mail slot and tricking the babysitter reminds me of the 80s classic Uncle Buck. I loved Uncle Buck so fucking much. Yeah. Peeks through a mail slot. Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you meant there. Those are it's definitely an iconic type of scene that you used to see all the time with the peeking through the mail slots, but I mean technically now, I mean, I don't even know anybody who even has one of those. Most people actually have a mailbox or a PO box or something like that. You know, I don't really get to see that whole kind of concept of mail anymore. It's kind of sad when you think about it. It's like those scenes are going to be lost on us, kind of like you know, like anytime you're watching an older movie and somebody has a pager or something like that, it's just a lot of those things are just gone with time, unfortunately. And you got to almost be a certain age to even catch on to some of the things like that. But no, I get exactly what he was saying there. But I guess we'll be able to continue this a lot more next week with the part 2 of Cutter's Treasure, which would be a lot more fun, especially to go through and talk about. And man, the the rest of the season too, man. I really can't wait to get into some of them. We have some really, really good episodes coming this season that I personally really, really enjoy. So hopefully everyone's able to stick it out with us and watch a lot of these. I will say at the end of the season, or not the end technically, but a little bit later in the season, that's when we're going to get like the Ghastly Grinner as well. So, I mean, we got some really iconic episodes coming up. So stick it out with us. Sorry again for the short episode this week, but you know, like I said, it's hard to do an episode when it's a two-parter, and I don't want to do any spoilers, but we'll get into that more next week. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching, being part of everything again. And feel free to email us, message us, send us anything too. And, you know, we always get back to everybody there too. But thanks everyone for joining in for this small little episode. And next week we'll jump into part 2, and I guarantee it'll be a much longer episode. And we'll really dive deeper into every little thing with it too. Just help fill everybody in and get everybody a little bit more involved with it. And I think Jeff and I are probably going to talk about maybe taking some of these two-parters and like three-parter type things and making them one episode so we can actually go all the way through with them. I mean, it's something I kind of didn't really think all the way through, but might be a good idea from here on out. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Appreciate you all, and see you next week. So have fun and feel the fear.